Hello, everyone. Welcome to this chat with King David Mowbray Golf Club General Manager Darrell Williams, who is going to give you some fantastic insight into the challenge presented by King David Mowbray ahead of the Cape Town Disabled Open. And yeah, hopefully the tips that Darrell shares will come in handy. Darrell, thank you so much for taking the time.
An absolute pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Chat to me about some of the challenges posed by KDM and what would you say the course's greatest defense is?
Um, KDM is a Bob Grimsdahl design, in my opinion, one of the best designers who ever worked in South Africa. And he set the course up so that it has a lot of crosswinds. So the fairways, across all the fairways, instead of it blowing directly into your weather wind, you have to these crosswinds, and the crosswinds end up being the course's greatest defense. They force you to shape the ball, and you've got to make a decision to either ride the wind or hold the ball up against the wind. So the greatest defense of the course in its design, I think, is the prevailing winds that we have in the Western Cape, particularly at this time of the year. So the best players, the guys who tend to score well at the course, tend to play the wind very well. Yeah.
Which holes do you feel will pose the biggest threats to a player's round? And could you reference at least one hole on each nine?
Let me start with the two, in my opinion, there's few tough holes. On the front nine, number seven. Number seven is the toughest second shot on the course by far. It's got a very small target, generally with a hard wind blowing off the right, water left, out of bounds back, bunkers front on both sides. So number seven is always a difficult hole. Um, then on the back nine, you've got number 15. Also a tough hole. Tough. You've got to get a good drive away, and even then, you've got a sloping fairway to an elevated green. That's always been a difficult hole. And then the notoriously difficult one is number 18, which is one of the best finishing holes in the Western Cape. Many a tournament has swung there. Not only do you have to get a good drive away, but your second shot is into a well-guarded green with water on the left, and the left side of that green actually falls away quite aggressively towards the water. So sometimes people even hit the left side of the green and still end up in a bit of trouble. So those are holes that everybody knows are difficult, but I think there are two sneaky little holes on the course that seem innocuous, but people tend to struggle. Number one, if you get it can be a risk and reward hole. Sometimes people try to take on the trees and fly the ball all the way to the green. If you don't get it right, you can either be out of bounds or you're in tree trouble on the right. And similarly, if your tee shot just drifts into the trees, we've seen some big numbers there. And then number three, another short par four, only a very short par four, but the second shot there has given many people nightmares. And we tend to see in our big competitions, even though they don't look like tough holes on paper, one and three can sometimes significantly change a player's round.
Which holes do you feel offer the best opportunities to score and potentially make up for any mishaps on the tougher holes?
Well, three of the four par fives are very good scoring opportunities. The one that's not is number nine, is the toughest drive on the hole in some people's opinion, on the course, sorry, in some people's opinion. But the other three par fives, 10, 14, and 6, generally they yield quite a lot of birdies in championship golf. So the par fives are definitely where you want to capitalize and give you an opportunity to gain some shots back.
What general advice on strategy would you give to the players in terms of how they could manage their way or should manage their way around the course?
Well, KDM's design sees all the bunkers, pardon, all the greenside bunkers are either left or right. There's no bunkers, very few holes have got bunkers in the back, but there are no bunkers in the mouth in front of the green. So generally what we see is two things. If you're a straight hitter of the ball, um, if you can keep the ball in the fairway or in the even on your approach shot, even if you're not coming from the fairway, if you can hit it into the mouth of the green, players tend to score better if they do that rather than going left or right. Um, but one of the critical things to good scoring at KDM is short game. You've got to be able to chip well, particularly the putting depends on how quick the greens are running. The greens don't have a lot of slope on them, so some people say that putting's not too difficult, but definitely in terms of chipping, it can be very tricky getting the ball close with the short game. So keep it straight, good short game, and then on the shorter putts inside of 5 foot, don't look for too much. People tend to overread those putts, look inside the hole and trust the line and just hit it. Yeah.
Perfect. And then just finally, what does it mean to King David Mowbray to be playing host to the Cape Town Disabled Open, hosted by the City of Cape Town, and afford the South African Disabled Golf Association members the opportunity to kind of showcase their skills?
I think without a shadow of a doubt, King David Mowbray is the most integrated course in the Western Cape, certainly. And part of that is, offering a place for everyone to enjoy the course, a championship course, a fantastic course with a great history, 7 SA Opens, etc., etc. And to be able to offer this opportunity to Sadger and to players with their talent, and also showcase to our members the skills that are out there. It's part of what makes King David Mowbray what it is. It's part of our culture. So we are very proud and very happy to play host to this event, and I can see us doing it for many more years to come.
Well, thank you so much for all of your support, and we all look forward to a great event.